Hey guys, today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on Catan Universe, the digital version of the popular board game Settlers of Catan. Catan Universe is a digital board game developed by ExoZ Games and published by USM. For those who aren't familiar with the game, Catan is all about building and expanding your settlement on the island of Catan. You'll collect resources, trade with other players, and use those resources to build roads, settlements, and cities. The goal is to be the first player to reach 10 victory points, which can be earned through a variety of means such as building structures, acquiring development cards, or having the longest road. Now on to Catan Universe. First off, I have to say that I was really impressed with the graphics and overall presentation of the game. The board and pieces look great and the interface is easy to navigate. It's also really convenient to be able to play Catan online with friends or against other players from around the world. One aspect of the aesthetics that stands out is the use of color. The colors used in the game are vibrant and eye-catching, which helps to bring the game to life. The different resources such as wood, brick, and grain are each represented by a different color, which makes it easy to distinguish them on the board. The character avatars are development cards also feature a range of colors, adding even more visual interest to the game. The interface is also easy to navigate with clear and concise menus and options. The use of user interface can help to streamline the gameplay experience and make it easier for players to understand and navigate the game. This can help to reduce the frustration and make the game more accessible to players of all skill levels. Another aspect of the aesthetics that adds to the immersion is sound design. The game features a variety of background music tracks, each of which helps to set the mood and atmosphere of the game. The sound effects such as the rolling of the dice and the placement of the game pieces are also well done and add to the overall experience. Overall, the aesthetics of Catan Universe are a key part of the game's appeal. The attention to detail and use of color and sound help to create a dynamic and immersive game world which enhance the player's experience. The core mechanics of the game revolve around resource collection and management. Players collect resources such as wood, brick, green, sheep, and ore by rolling dice and resources based on the numbers rolled and the locations of their settlements on the board. These resources can then be used to build roads, settlements, and cities, which earn players victory points. Players can also trade resources with each other or with a central bank using a set of trade rates that change over the course of the game. Another key mechanic in the game is the use of development cards. Players can purchase development cards with their resources, which provide a variety of benefits such as additional victory points, resources bonuses, or the ability to take special actions. These cards add an element of strategy to the game, as players must decide when and how to use them in order to best advance their position. Dice rolling. At the beginning of each turn, players roll 2 dice to determine which resource tiles will produce resources for that turn. The numbers on the dice correspond to the resource tiles on the board, and players will receive 1 resource for each of their settlements adjacent to a producing resource tile. Trading. Players can trade resources with each other or with a central bank using a set of trade rates. The trade rates change over the course of the game, so players must pay attention to the current rates and make strategic decisions about when to trade. Players can also use their roads to make trades with other players, with the player with the longest road receiving a trade bonus. Building. Players can use their resources to build roads, settlements, and cities on the board. Each of these structures earns players a victory points, with cities being worth more points than settlements. Players can also earn victory points by acquiring development cards, which can provide a variety of benefits. Rubber. One mechanic that adds an element of luck to the game is the rubber. If a player rolls a 7, they must move the rubber to a different resource tile and steal 1 resource from a player with a settlement adjacent to that tile. This can be a powerful tool for players to disrupt their opponent's resource collection, but it can also backfire if the player is not careful. Overall, the mechanics of Catan Universe are well balanced and provide a good level of depth and strategy. The combination of resource collection and management, building and expansion, and the use of development cards creates a satisfying and engaging gameplay experience. Catan Universe is a digital board game, so it does not have a traditional narrative or story like a role-playing game or a single-player campaign game. Instead, the focus is on a gameplay and strategy. However, the game does have a basic premise or setting. Players are settlers on the island of Catan, working to build and expand their settlements while competing with each other for resources and victory points. Within this setting, players can create their own stories and narrative decisions they make and the strategies they employ. For example, a player might choose to focus on building a long road and securing the longest road bonus, or they might opt to invest in the development cards and try to win through an accumulation of victory points. Each player's path to victory will be unique, and the game's mechanics and random elements will create a different experience for each. The game can be played on a variety of platforms, including PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. One key aspect of the game's technology is the user interface. The UI is the interface through which players interact with the game, and it must be intuitive and easy to navigate in order for the game to be enjoyable. In the case of Catan Universe, the UI is well designed and easy to use, with clear menus and options and a smooth, responsive interface. Another technological aspect of the game is the networking and online functionality. Catan Universe allows players to play with friends online or against other players from around the world, and this requires a stable and reliable network connection. The game also incorporates features such as matchmaking and leaderboards, which rely on technology such as servers and databases to function. Finally, the game's graphics and sound design are also important technological components. The game features high-quality graphics and detailed board pieces, as well as immersive background music and sound effects. These elements help to create a dynamic and immersive game world, and they rely on technologies such as graphic engines and audio software to function. Overall, I'm really enjoying my time with Catan Universe. It's a great way to play the classic board game with friends or on your own, and the additional game modes and expansions add even more depth and replayability. If you're a fan of Catan or just enjoy strategy games in general, I'll definitely recommend giving Catan Universe a try. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about the game in the comments below.